Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 24 with the Prague Metropolitans. In our previous episode, we kind of got ruffle stomped in the LCS, avoiding making the World Series again, which is a bit of a sad time, but that's okay. Um, our job is to keep it going. We got to keep all the good stuff happening in order to try to keep the glory where it belongs, which is a shame. I was kind of hoping we'd win back-to-back titles for the first time, but we didn't, which is whatever. So we begin as always with coaching, but before we get too deep into it, I do want to formally announce that I think once we get to 20 seasons in this, I think that's when we'll go ahead and call it a series. I'm not saying that for 100% yet, but we're talking like high 80%. I think we'll move on and find a. I think we'll end up going with KBO, but I haven't decided about that 100% yet. But I think that's the direction I'm leaning in. So before we go any farther, let's talk about coaching. We have two vacancies. The problem is, of course, that V likes to hire his own coaches. I can't do anything about that. Does any pitching coach deserve a promotion? Edwards is fine. Ardiolanu, not as much. Alright, so we're gonna go. We can't promote Edward. No, we actually can. We can go for Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards. There you go. I want Berghuis to be a manager, so let's see if he'll take that job. There you go. And then I guess Murasan can be promoted. I guess that's reasonable. Make him the short season manager. And then we'll need to get 3 new coaches, so let's start by getting a pitching coach. I'd actually love to hire Maslin to be our new rookie league manager, if I could. If he'd be down for that, I would be quite appreciative of his efforts in that regard. Pure pitching coach, I think Rickard Cole makes sense. Hitting coach, I think we go right for Mr. Abba here. And that's our coaching offers in. So we're presently $5 million over budget. Not insurmountable, but we're gonna have to make some sacrifices if we're gonna be able to afford everything. And our owner's given us a very clear mandate, which is to extend Mr. Overkirk. And I do believe Mr. Overkirk. Oh, we've already given him an extension offer, so as soon as he accepts it, then we'll be good to go. Alright, let's start figuring out who we want to keep and who we're going to send packing. So first things first, Ricardo Cabrera. He only wants 600 grand, but we might come back to that. Okay, Grishik has already been offered a contract. Alright, Theo Gallagher can walk. Rosa Wachinski can walk. Yeah, I think you're a lost cause at this point. I'm going to try to trade you real fast and see if somebody will give me something of interest for you. No, they won't. And that's fine. We're going to go ahead and non-tender him as well. Muldoon Campbell has actually been a pretty solid player, but he's also not that great defensively. The question becomes, are we okay keeping him around as a DH? And I think there's certainly worse choices we could make. Let's come back to him in just a moment. Duclaw. I think Duclaw has to go. I'd much rather give an opportunity to Sean Falone, who can actually hit the occasional hit. So I think we're going to trade Duclaw. I think that's the first decision I'm going to make here. And here we go. We've got some interesting offers. Hendrik Berg seems like a pretty solid pitcher. I could get behind that. Mr. Berg, you are in. Done. So this little bit of money opens up a spot for new first baseman. We'll call that a win. I can't afford to pay all these relievers a ridiculous sum. And here's the thing, Mr. Vanderwall here, right? Like, we have no idea if he'll ever come back, and I'm not going to pay him just for the purposes of paying for his surgery. Collins Landauer should be better than he was, and his raise is fairly minor. Let's go ahead and give it to him. There we go. Same with Matyagan, same with Picard. I think these are all very talented players, and spending a little bit extra cash to keep them is highly worthwhile. Notice I'm avoiding so far the two most expensive decisions. We'll get to them. Don't worry about it. Alright, LaHaye wants so little money and still has a fair bit of potential that I have no problem giving him a raise. There we go. Done. Alright. Kaitani we're going to let walk. I agree with that. Jung I definitely want to keep. Jung might be our future closer. No, he wants to get his bag. I respect that. What if we do 490? There you go. Done. So we're left with two players that really have to make a decision. Actually, one player to make a decision because Grishek's about to get a contract extension. So do we keep Cabrera? I don't think we do. I don't think a mid-tier reliever is worth getting a big raise. I know he's a fan favorite. But I think that's okay. I think we can live with that. I think we go ahead and non-tender what's his face here? Ricardo Cabrera. I don't think keeping him around does as many favors. This leaves us with one decision to make. Two decisions. The first decision is, do we want to pay Yuri Eidman for a new contract? Yuri Eidman is a really good catcher. The challenge here is he will never start for us. Like, he won't. Barring some sort of horrible injury to Mr. Overkirk, Eidman isn't as good as he is. And so, if I need to save money, he might be a place to save it. But I think we do need him for at least one more season. So I think we'll go ahead. I'm not giving him a long-term contract extension. I can't afford it. Not at the moment, anyway. And you're definitely not being guaranteed a starting lineup. This is with Campbell. Man. 1.6 million for a DH seems a little ridiculous. On the other hand, like, he's one of my best offensive players by far. I think he's kind of got me by the short hairs. I think I have to give him at least one season on this ridiculous contract. Simply because I don't have... Like, we're thin at outfielder to begin with. We're going to have to make some interesting choices as his offseason progresses, but... Fallon will be ready for opening day, so we'll give him an opportunity to earn that job in spring training. Mr. Kalan, I think, is very, very close to being Major League ready. Maybe as soon as this season if he has a nice spring training. I don't want to lose Bazaar for nothing, so we're going to go ahead and put him on the 40-man. The rest of you guys can get fucked. Like, the rest of you don't interest me in the slightest. If somebody else claims you, they claim you. But I definitely need Bazaar. Is there any player we could trade to actually save a decent bit of money? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, our infield is locked up for a nice long time, which is great. And we're going to be getting Overkirk here momentarily, which is even better. We will lose either Gunter or Makapane, maybe both, at the end of this coming season, which is fine. We'll have to make some changes there. You would give me Daniel Fleming, maybe. I don't think this makes sense to me. I think we need Gunter still. We need him for at least one more season. So I think this is a polite decline. Gold Glove for Pablo Gonzalez and Eisner. Do we still have Pablo Gonzalez? I thought we traded him. We did. Oh, but he must have played most of the year with us, so we still get the credit. That's cool. Have they? Fine, I'll give you 15 grand. Who got reliever of the year? Jung. Very nice, very nice. Really? We're gonna get some platinum sticks, I'm sure. Pancakes, obviously. Oitzer, Overkirk. Very nice. 3 platinum sticks. I don't know why you'd want a stick made of platinum, but here we are. Picard, Campbell, Overkirk. Now, the one I haven't seen yet is Grishik. I haven't seen if Grishik has signed a new deal yet. I think he's still thinking about it. He is still thinking about it. Alright, our coaching staff is now full. Oh, no, it's not. We don't have a hitting coach yet. I guess give me Jose Ortega. We can give him one last ride. I mean, you're actually a really good coach. I will happily give you an extension. Like, without a second's hesitation, because you're real good. And we got Grishek. So we have some cost certainty. And it's just going to come down to some other things as well. The owner should be fucking thrilled because Overkirk got his cash. I don't see us being super competitive in terms of free agents this season. I think we might do some bargain basement shopping. But I don't see us spending a bunch of money. I truly don't. Okay, neat. Hall of Fame voting. I mean, Monomachus seems like a pretty good fit. LeFranc, Johnston, and the rest of y'all can get fucked. Alright, how much money do I have to spend? I have some money. Not a huge amount, but I do have some. And if we can leverage that money effectively, I think we'll be in fairly decent shape. The lineup isn't terribly thrilling, but we are going to have some people shifting around, so that'll help some. Bullpen is good. So what are we looking for? What are the things that we're looking for to try to get ourselves a quality team? I'd like a starting pitcher. And maybe that's Bassar. Maybe Bassar pitching in the big leagues is what we're looking for. But also maybe it isn't. So a starting pitcher would not go amiss. I'd love some depth at outfield. Whether that means calling people up or whatever. We do have Loffinger Schultz too, so I guess we do have a couple of pitching options. Alain Kalan. I know that's actually not how it's pronounced, but I also don't care. Dahlgren could get promoted. What do we need this season? Okay. Target number 1, I wouldn't mind getting 1 starting pitcher. Target number 2, I'd love to get 1 veteran outfielder. That's, I think, what we're looking for. A starting pitcher and a veteran outfielder that we don't have to pay too much money for. And we could bring back Ludovic Bonet for practically no money. I think that sounds amazing. We can do that. I know I could have gotten Avanti for even less, but I think bringing back a known quantity is actually kind of helpful right now. Let's look at the outfield. I mean, we could bring Florin back for practically nothing. There's some value in that for sure. That'll be kind of funny if... But I don't think I want him back. I don't. Let's sort by batting ratings. Let's start with contact. I know I can't afford Prokupic. Is there a filter for... I try to see if there's a filter for demand. Like the amount of money the guy wants. Let's see if this works. So we're gonna do is less than 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's see if this works. Damn, guys. This filter is pretty fucking awesome, and we're gonna call this bargain shopping. Oh, there's a lot to like about Tomas Smith here. He's fast. He's not a great outfielder, though. So I think that gives me some pause. Yeah, Mahayev doesn't impress me. I need a little bit more athleticism than that. I think Switzer might be the best we can do. There you go, offer Switzer. I recognize this means I probably can't sign an international free agent. That's as may be. I wasn't ever going to be able to afford it. Like, that was never going to happen. So, you do you, guys. You do you. I'm already at the baseline for both of those players. That's better than I thought he'd want. We can maybe talk to him. Well, you actually want a pay cut, though. The thing is, though, you will start aging eventually, and I don't want to be caught on the hook with a big contract when you do. We'll figure something out, but at least for right now, we don't have a ton of extra cash for the moment. We're going to have some hard choices to make in order to try to free up enough money for stuff. Maybe. How far off budget are we? Counting. We're not that far off, actually. That's really weird. I could raise ticket prices again. Like, nobody else is even charging over 10. But, like, as long as I'm getting people to buy the tickets, there's no downside to charging more money. I really need an owner who's not so obsessed with making a profit. Like, that's really what we need. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting any international free agents. I don't think we can afford any. Tempting, but no, I don't think I'm interested. I don't care if any of you guys get snagged, so we're just gonna go right into the Rule 5 pool and see who's around. Somebody grabbed Evan Gallagher. Good for them. Apparently the fans are super bummed. I had no idea that Evan Gallagher was like the heart and soul of the people here, but here we are. You're actually fairly athletic. And you're a decent hitter, too. I will happily claim you, my friend. Plus, this now means I cannot sign, no, I want free agents, pending offers. I cannot tell Warner Switzer to get fucked. There we go. I like how Roman's like really excited that he's gonna get signed, and then I'm just like, I don't think so. Also, Maurice Rousseau got claimed. That's good for him. People are happy about getting Bonet back. I am too. I think if we can get a quality season out of him, it'll just make us a better team. How about just a minor league contract with no option? There you go, 50 grand is all I'm gonna give you. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you can get the minimum salary, but that's it. I don't need you anymore. You're a fucking loser. I'm not even going to get involved in international scouting this year. I want to save my cash to pay signing bonuses for the draft. So we're going to go with that. I don't even care this year. I don't know why the fans are so sad I was in Ricardo Cabrera. He's like a mid-tier starting pitcher. At best. Oh well. Okay, preseason begins. Lovely, let's go to spring training, and then we'll start calling some people up. All right. So step one, Falon, Bassar both get called up. Schultz gets called up. Kalan, Larson, and Zaremba, Mrej. That'll probably do it. I don't think there's anybody else I'm super eager to give an opportunity. I mean, maybe Dahlgren. Like, it does seem a bit silly that Dahlgren is stuck in... is kind of stuck in A-ball, so we can call him up too and see how that works out. Let's go and sim through spring training and see how things go. Grishik, don't lose fucking control. That's a dick move after I just gave you a giant new contract. That's lame. go. So one of the things we really need to be cognizant of, I think, is trying to restock our... Really, June? You fucking jackass. How do you get your damn rotator cuff torn in spring training? Shithead. Yay! I love this for us. I love not having relievers. I mean, Vilowski doesn't hurt as much. Whenever you see that little pop-up, it always means it's career ending. Yeah. It's whatever. Alright, Dahlgren got better. Basar got better. Amakapane got better. Falone is about the same. Campbell slipped a tiny bit for his future. Agafonikov got better. Kalan got better. We got some reasonable improvements here. I'm down for this. Okay. So I presently have 17 pitchers. That seems excessive. I think Basar goes to AAA. I'd rather he get a chance to keep starting than force him to sit in the back end of the bullpen in the majors. Landauer to the minors. Zaremba to the minors. This puts us at 14 pitchers. I would like to get rid of at least 2 more. I kind of want to keep Dahlgren, so I'm going to send down Kamarit. And... I guess Schultz can go back to the minors for now. I'm actually short a position player now, which means I have to keep Kalan, which is fine. I was planning on doing that anyway. What do we actually need? We need a middle infielder. I think that means Drost. Let's do it. There we go. Boom. That's our opening day lineup. Very good. Very, very good. It does hurt losing Jung, though. I am concerned that we don't have a real top-flight reliever. But I'm still somewhat... Miata looks so good. I can't wait until he is ready to play baseball in a meaningful way. He could be good. Anyway. Yeah, so our opening day lineup is... We have Falone. He's new. We have Mayer. He's new. And Kalan. So 3 of our starters are new. The rest are from last season. No big surprises there. The rotation is sort of a greatest hits with Bonet coming back. The bullpen is a real weak point. I am concerned about our bullpen without Jung. I worry we don't have the top flight relief talent that we need. That said, I'm willing to let him figure himself out and see how this works out as the season progresses. But I think this is our weak point. The bullpen is full of very competent pitchers. I do, but very few of them are top tier, in my opinion. Yeah. Picard and Dahlgren are both really good at striking people out, which is going to be great. But it's a very young bullpen, but very few players in it strike me as particularly dominant. Let's start our first month. Evan Gallagher returns to the fold. Now, an important question. Throughout the rest of this early part of the season is, who do we try to bring back? Like, next season could be a giant year in transition. Because the chance of us even bringing two of these guys back seems pretty light. I mean, yeah. Like, Vilowski, I don't care about. We're going to lose him anyway. So this is going to be a really interesting season, to be certain. I have no money again. How do I keep running out of money? No clue. No clue. Okay. So far, not a ton of great stuff here. Which does make me sad. Amakapane wants to come back. And I appreciate the fact he's willing to take a pay cut to do it. But I don't think a 37-year-old starting pitcher is a good investment at this point. I truly don't. If I was going to keep anybody, it would probably be Gunther. Or Campbell? I mean, Campbell's got the offense for sure, but he's also really expensive. I don't think I could keep Gunther either, though, is the thing. He'd want to take a pay cut, whereas Campbell will just want to raise. I mean, I guess I could do this. Like, paying a ton of money for an outfielder who can't play the outfield just seems silly. But we're also getting him for most of his prime. I want a team option. And I want to get rid of the opt-out. This is what looks fair to me. It's still not great. I'd rather keep Gunther if I could, but the fact is that he's only 26, which means he's still got a lot of career left. Oh. So he would take that deal, and I think I would take that deal too. There we go. Gunther's going to get a lot of money in the offseason. And the fans are happy to keep Campbell. I'm not unhappy with him. He's a talented offensive performer, for sure. But I kind of wish we could keep Gunther, if at all possible, but I don't think we can. We're in a real dogfight with St. Petersburg this year. That's pretty crazy. Not a whole lot happening here. Yeah. Some good stuff happening, but also, like, Pablo Castro dropping 15 points of potential is a bit sad. I'd love to give you an extension, my dude. I cannot afford you at all. So what are we looking at here? It's actually the offense that's been lagging behind, which is somewhat surprising to me. I didn't expect that. And the two biggest culprits are Mare and Kalan. I don't think Mare is a good fit at this point. Kalan I will put up with, because I think he just needs to work through some of his issues, but I don't think Mare is a good first baseman. So we're going to send him to the minors. Fuck it, let's try Harley Martin as a first baseman and see how this works out for us. It's always nice to have a real good on-base machine, and I'm here for that. We're also just as a team not hitting quite up to our potential, and I think that'll improve with time. Everything else happening here is okay. Thomas Larson can get fucked. I feel pretty okay saying that. I'm going to call up Schultz to give us another real good long man at the back of the pen for now, and I think that'll work out. I think that sounds good. Okay. Fairly small moves, all things considered, but moves nonetheless. Alright, I am presently looking at $500,000 to sign players, which isn't great. Oh, I have $2 million. I wonder what said 500,000, but okay. I like you a lot, actually. There is Gerhard Kerning, though, and Mr. Kerning here is ready for the big leagues, like, tomorrow. I think I have to go for him. Unless Spitzaner is better, which he's not. He's more expensive, for sure. Yeah, this seems like kind of, an uninspired choice, but this gets me an outfielder who can start as soon as this year and maybe even next year. And that's kind of what I need right now. So we're going to go ahead and draft him. I feel reasonably good about that. I like Palma a lot, actually. I think we're going to draft him. I think I'm not going to hesitate, and we're just going to grab him. We're going to get his ass. A lot of center fielders at this point in the draft, only one of which is considered really high potential. This is fine, I guess. He's an okay all-around player, but I think we can probably do a bit better. Acevedo is... Excuse me. Acevedo is not interesting to me. He has very little offensive talent, and just being really fast and a good defender doesn't strike me as a good use of a draft pick. It just doesn't. I like Ashraf a little bit better, actually. He's going to be a good corner guy. He's still got some decent speed, but he does have enough offensive tools to make for an interesting choice. So we're going to grab Mr. Ashraf here. Meh. Now, Reese Burke is a really interesting pick. As he stands right now, Reese Burke is an uninteresting player. He really has very little to recommend him. He's got 4 pitches, only one of which I would even consider plus. And he doesn't throw very hard. However, Mr. Burke is also 6'3" and only throws 90 miles an hour. That seems really low. If he adds velocity, will it make his pitches good enough to overcome the rest of it? I don't know. But I'm not willing to spend a draft pick on him to find out. Jean-Baptiste is just Acevedo, but extra dumb. Wolf is tolerable. I deeply am concerned about his ability to hit for average at the next level, and if he doesn't hit for average, the rest of his offensive profile isn't very exciting. I guess we can pick Gennaro. I have very little to complain about Gennaro. He's a good all-around hitter. He's kind of dumb, but, you know, that's how we like him here in Prague, I guess. This guy looks more my speed. I actually think he'd be a good fit. Let's draft him. Done. I'm just going to auto-draft the rest of this, because to be real with you, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford all this. So we'll find out. We will find out. Kerning was probably one of the easiest no-brainer picks I've ever had. He's just going to need some seasoning in AAA, and I think he'll be in the bigs probably by the time rosters expand. Let's go ahead and get all of our top 5 picks. Neeson Wolf is actually fine. We can offer him a deal. Tekelholby sucks. Oh gosh, excuse me. Tekelholby does not impress me. Neither does Quint Schouten. Sorry, dudes. Yeah, none of this really interests me. I guess Lipinen here isn't the worst. He's a nice risk to take because he does have some skill. But the rest of this group is thoroughly uninteresting. If Chacon could play catcher a little bit better, I'd strongly consider him. You know what? A little bit of catching depth would not go amiss. And there we go. That's our draft class for this year. Let's sim the rest of the month. I do? Oh, I guess nobody wanted Rousseau. Sucks to be him. I did not know your contract was actually up. I am not committing to you, though. Yeah, my fucking dude, you want to get paid $1 million and you've done jack all in the big leagues. Yeah, Bonet is what he is at this point. He's a rubber-armed leader. I don't know that I'm willing to pay extra money to keep him around, though. I just don't think that's very sensible. Man, I wish I could return to full strength immediately with my sore back. Actually, my arm is really sore today. Yesterday, we went to the doctor and I got a pneumonia vaccine, and it hurts. And I'm happy to do it because I don't want to get pneumonia. But um, yep, that's the thing. I actually think is starting Koning, and I think starting him in Double A does make some sense. He's already improving a little bit, which is great. He's just gonna be an all-around dude. Okay, so a couple things immediately jump out at me. The first of which is Kalane is not getting any better at offense. He's having a really hard time hitting for contact, but the rest of his profile is actually encouraging. His defense has been really good, and I think I'm okay with letting him try to find himself the rest of this season. Martin has actually looked reasonably decent. Not amazing, reasonably decent. What we're lacking is the top shelf offensive contributor this year. Like Pancakes is obviously amazing, but even he is slightly off his normal pace. And other players are just really good without being exceptional. And really good is fun. Like, really good is going to win you championships. But I wish we had one player who is playing out of his mind. Falone, I think, does count as a success so far. He could be a lot better, though. And hopefully he will be. The thing is, though, we have all these contact hitters, and none of them are hitting for contact. And I think that right now is our biggest issue. Is it the ballpark? Not really. We actually have like a very slight depression in offense. I personally would blame the hitting coach, because a lot of our players are not hitting where we should expect them to hit. Eisner looks really good, as does Oitzer. We've got talented players that are playing well. We just don't have players that are playing their best. Campbell in particular needs to get his shit together. But I'm very strongly considering firing the hitting coach. Like, I don't know why we picked this guy, but he fucking sucks. And I don't think I control who the new hitting coach is. I don't, but I can sure as shit fire this shitty one. So... No, not you. Sheehan Purdue, I appreciate your, like, I get that the players like you. His contract's going to be up anyway. Maybe we just let it go for now. I'm going to offer extensions to all the minor league personnel. We really never got a fucking hitting coach. Oh my god. Why the hell, game? Vukovic is actually fairly talented. I don't want to lose him without a fight. Look, fucking Fritz Moling. You know what? Fuck this shit. Purdue, you're fired. I can't promote Moling, but I can clear the way for him and hope that Villa realizes what a talented hitting coach he has in his own coaching system. Houdelay is fine. I'm not, like, over the moon about him, but it creates some stuff here. But yeah, when the entire team is hitting well below what you'd expect, I think somebody has to go. Oh, I do want to keep our team trainer. Our team trainer has actually, for the most part, done a pretty solid job. I do think keeping him makes some sense. I mean, Masson doesn't exactly thrill me, but he's a lot better than the last fucker, so I'm okay with that. I love how Miyata is the #1 prospect in the league. That pleases me. But we're still only 5th because beyond that, our system looks a little bit thin. I mean, he has had an okay rookie campaign so far. It's not been fantastic, but it's been pretty solid. We can see where that gets us. Oh. Monsieur Masson, if you can get people to start hitting for average again, you'll be well worth the contract. I'll be back in a couple of days. Omakapane wants to come back. I wouldn't even object to bringing you back, but I definitely cannot afford you. Like, I can't. Even if your price keeps dropping, I can't afford it. Like, short of somebody shockingly retiring or we get a bunch of new money, I don't think I can afford it. Grishik is making the All-Star team, as is LaHaye. Overkirk. Pancakes. Gunter. I'm down with that. That's a pretty decent list. I don't know why don't we just make fucking Eidman a first baseman, but here we are. Bassar's having an amazing season in AAA. I love to see it. And then we've got little Louis Foray, who's like way down the pipeline, but still interesting. And Mr. Miyata gets his first appearance in an All-Star game. Surely not to be his last. I like it. I like it a lot. So Jonathan Barral sucks. So I'm halfway tempted to just take this deal just out of sheer spite. But Killick is legit a really good reliever. Alexei here is very talented defensively and has a lot of speed. And even Orlando Rios is, yes, this is objectively a good trade. Done. Objectively, it just makes the team better from start to finish. We're gonna send down Schultz for right now for Killick, but I have a strong suspicion that we're about to lose Selesnev. I got the better deal, I think. Seiji Hori, huh? What a dirty Hori. Oh, Alex Chironza. I remember you. That's how I got Tomka. LaFont isn't terribly interesting. I do like Kasaba here. It's like Weedow is that great, right? Like Weedow is kind of unexceptional. What I don't want is Lafont. I don't think Lafont does much for me. Yeah, that's why you're trying to get rid of Lafont. That's a big no for me, dog. Sorry. I'm gonna reject this trade because I don't want Lafont. He doesn't do it for me. As predicted, we knew he was gonna get hurt. That's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it definitely means we're probably gonna need to grab at least one reliever in at the trade deadline, I think. So I got a couple of questions here. I'm never gonna trade Duroc. Maybe. I really want to give Basar a chance to start, which means one of these starters has to go. I could trade Yonku and maybe try to get a reliever out of that or something else. I'm not going to trade Gunter as much as I would love to. He's too important to the club, and he's the one hitter who's hitting consistently quite well. So I think Yonku is my best trading chip. So let's see what might be on tap here. Philander here would be fucking incredible. I would trade Yonku for you in a heartbeat, if that works for you. Oh, I can't afford it then. Okay, so that can't happen. So that's annoying. I like Adler Meyer a lot. I wonder what it would cost to get Mr. Meyer here. Oh, you don't have any money. Which means you can't absorb Yonku. Shalko doesn't really thrill me. Philip Filov would actually be fairly decent. Nope, you can't afford him either. Nope. Nope. So this is my issue. I'm going to have to try to prospect to get a reliever. And that's not impossible. If I'm going to do that, I wonder what kind of prospect I'd have to give you. I literally can't give you anything. Gross. Let's skip this day. And again. And again. Yeah. I would have loved to have gotten some bullpen help, but yeah, we weren't going to be able to afford it. From a monetary standpoint, for sure. I think we wait until... Oh, so it's not to deal with the fact that we lost a reliever. I think Kamarit would be the best choice if we're just going to have a reliever. And then we'll go from there. Select Ross expansion time, and that's when we'll call up the starter. Good times. Bassar improving control at the expense of movement is something I'm actually okay with. Like, that doesn't bother me in the slightest. We might trade Eidman in the offseason if we can get a good player out of it, because we do have some other catchers that I think would at least be interesting choices as backups. And I definitely can't afford to keep both of them. Like, I cannot. Harley Martin has not been very good. And Gabriel Gunter, I just can't afford you. Bonet, I probably could, but I don't know that I want to. Oh my fucking god. Did you really get hurt, Bassar, right when I was about to call you up? You fucking toolbox. I'm gonna call it Fipula, for sure. Let's get Larson up. Koning, I don't appreciate the fact you've actually lost potential. I know it's not a huge amount, but I kind of had hoped for more from you. It's fine. And yeah, really nobody else seems interesting to me to call up. Like, maybe Koning, but I'm kind of fine with what I've already got. Yeah, I think I'm happy with what we have at the moment. And then once, what's to say, Bassar is healthy, he'll get called up. So let's do a week. And another week. And then the bigs. We're going to have a lot of pitchers to replace. Like, we're going to go from having a lot of quality starters. We're going to lose Bonet. We're going to lose Amakapane. Unless either one of them is going to take, like, a giant pay cut. $3 million is too much for you. I mean, I guess what I could do is I could opt out of Yonku's contract to keep Amakapane. I think that might be reasonable, potentially. Maybe. You won the division again at 82 and 66. We got to get the we got to get the roster down by 3. I really want to keep Bassar Jr., so we're going to get rid of Larson. That puts me at 13 pitchers. I don't want 13 pitchers. I'm actually going to send down Mityagin, I think. No, we'll do Kamari. That I don't need 3 first basemen. Unless Fipula has hit like 4 home runs, which he didn't. I mean, we could just try it, right? Like, we could get rid of Martin instead, because all Martin does is get on base, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Fipula's almost as good at that, so let's send down Martin. Sorry, mate. So I'm going to come down to if Grishik and a Makapane can be their best selves. I mean, Grishik came to fucking play. Yonku had an amazing performance. You love to see it. Really, Basar? And a Makapan. All of our starters were fantastic. That's always a good thing to see. Each one won at least 7 innings. Yonku is by far the most dominant, though. Like, only 2 hits allowed and only 2 walks. 4 base runners is ridiculous for 7 innings, and I love it. I am here for it. How much longer are you going to be out? You're going to be out in just 3 days. That's fine. Sit until next playoff round. We're facing the Bratislava Castles. Grishik has a fantastic opening game. Yonku... Oh, it wasn't Yonku's fault. It was the bullpen. Yeah, fucking LaHaye was brought in to end the game and shit the bed. Yonku is phenomenal. Nice work, gentlemen. Nice work. Durak got lit up. Grishik locked it down, though. We scouted the entire United States, guys, and we found one player, Cole Kaplov. I don't hate him, but he certainly doesn't strike me as terribly interesting. Ooh, it comes down to Game 7 with a Makapane on the hill. Can we get back to the World Series to face the Cardinals? We cannot. Sadly, a Makapane falls short. That's kind of a heartbreaker, actually. We were actually doing really good that playoff round, but sadly, we got beat. Like, every game was close, except for the ones that we won. I don't want to read an important message. I already know that I lost. And we'll just end the playoffs here. And the Cardinals got a World Series title out of it, so I guess that's something. And Edward Edwards has retired. Don't I have at least one fantabulous pitching coach in the low minors? I thought I did. Maybe I don't. I don't. I just want to quickly make an offer so I don't forget about it. Yes, please. Get me a redonkulous pitching coach, I beg you. And then we finish one day to end the season properly. All right. So here's one of the interesting questions of the offseason. And this might be one that I save for next episode, because I really want to hear your guys' thoughts. What am I talking about? This might be a non-issue. Yonku has seriously been our best starting pitcher for the past 4 or 5 years. I'm just going to execute the option. I was actually thinking about voiding it so we could try to keep a Makapane instead, but no, we made the right call. Oh god, you want me to keep a Makapane? I don't think that's gonna happen unless you're gonna give me a lot more money. Which I doubt you will. I have no money. Like, it comes down to that. If we're gonna try to keep a Makapane, I'm gonna have to just, like, not even try to keep half of my arbitration guys. And I'm frankly not ready to do that. So, yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. This season felt a little bit disappointing. It felt like we could have been so much more, and we weren't. Shout out to Overkirk, who had an amazing season. You love to see it. It's great to see a big extension justified. Eisner has quietly been killing it. It doesn't take much beyond being a great second baseman who gets on base a lot, but he does both of those things very well. Pancakes is kind of becoming a millstone. And I hate to say it, but I think that's kind of where we've been. He's been good. I don't want to make it seem like he's a chump or anything, because he's not. But he's being paid like one of the best players in the league, and I don't think that's true anymore. Gunther ended up having a below-average season. I think he might be washed or close to it. So he's going to have to find a new team, because he's not coming back no matter what. Colan really impressed me. There's still so much untapped potential here, but he gave us basically Gold Glove caliber defense and hit pretty well considering. That was a nice touch. Falone was kind of the opposite. We needed thump, and we got thump from him. The fact he's a captain is just icing on the cake. I still think he's got another gear, but even if this is all there is, I'm perfectly happy with that. Oitzer slid a little bit, mostly because of his bat. That being said, though, he was still a pretty good shortstop, and I'm more than happy to continue keeping him. Campbell was a real bummer. And that's my biggest concern, right? Like, we have a lot of money invested in Campbell, a lot of playing time invested in him. If this motherfucker can't start crushing baseballs, we're going to be in a world of hurt. Like, he was better than average, I guess. And he played left field without embarrassing himself too much, but still, we need more. We need more out of him. We need him to be a leader. Agafonikov actually had an okay season, considering. But if we want to see good stuff out of him, we're going to need him to get a little bit better. So far, the offense was solid. It just wasn't brilliant. And I think that's one of the rare issues we've had. Because typically we don't have any issues with big-time offense, but this season we did. If we look by weighted on base average, the only above-average hitter was Overkirk. And I think this is the story. A lot of our players are deriving a ton of value from base running and defense, and not enough from just smacking the shit out of the ball. So, gotta see how that's all gonna work out. But the pitching, my friends. Actually, I want to update my pitching stats here. We'll make a new universal one here. Because there's a few things I like to have here. I definitely want to see pitches per game. That's always a thing. Ground out percentage. Win probability added. And then I want strikeout and walk percentage. I think those are all really important. I don't care so much about the average they give up, but I do care a lot about the OPS they give up. We can just do that. That seems good. Let's go with that. That's so much prettier. It's so much more useful. Save this view. Save it as global. Done. Alright. Yonku was our best pitcher this season. Which is excellent news. The only thing Yonku is losing a tiny bit of is his stamina. It looks like he lost a couple of starts this year. Amakapane just keeps pitching at a very high level. At some point, it's going to look really silly to bet against him. I mean, he's been a Metropolitan for life. I'd love him to retire as one, but I can't, like... I can't force it. If he doesn't want to pitch for us. Here's what's most impressive, right? Like, if you look at his OSA when we signed him, he doesn't look that impressive, does he? He looks kind of like a dude, but he ended up being, like, a capital D dude. Which is very exciting. We'll see what happens with him. I'd love to keep him around, at least for another couple of seasons, but we'll see what happens. Greshik has taken a slight dip from his rookie campaign, but he was still excellent. It looks like his walks ticked up a tiny bit. There's still so much to love here, especially if he can keep working on his pitches, that I'm happy we got him at the price we did. Bonet, honestly, was a lovely little signing toward the end there. But at the end of the day, our bullpen let us down. Thank goodness for LaHaye being pretty solid. But, like, as a team, our bullpen wasn't very good. And if we take a look at our team home screen, our bullpen was 5th in ERA, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but here's what matters a little bit more. If we sort by WAPA, it looks like a tiny bit better, but remember, one of our best relievers was Killick, who we just acquired at the trade deadline. Like, the fact of the matter is, we had an uninteresting relief staff. And next year, that should be better, I hope. It should be better. Because we'll have, hopefully, Jung back. We'll have other people back. But for right now... I think we end the episode. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe. You can comment down below to share how you think the season went. But until next time, this has been Avguardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.